Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here, and today I want to talk to you about the Luminox EVO Navy SEAL Colormark. That is a mouthful. Check out the presentation on this sucker. I love these boxes. When they put watches in these boxes, that just is so cool. It's almost like a sunglasses case, right? Traditional Luminox. Quality brand, Swiss brand's been around for a long, long time. So let's take a look at the EVO Navy SEAL Colormark. Well, it's going to be hard to remember all those words. So bam, there we go. So the proverbial tag, and it is model 3067. Now this is a discontinued model. It's not out there anymore. It's in this super cool neon green, which I love. This is not the original band that was on this watch. It is the band that was on the watch when I got it, because I picked it up used from a Watch Gang member off the Watch Gang Exchange. This, however, is the original band. He did include it as part of the sale, which I thought was pretty cool, that he had kept it. And it's just a traditional silicone strap. It is Luminox branded, of course, as well as branded on the silicone itself right there, which is pretty nice. These are pretty standard for Luminox watches, and it is a double buckle with both tangs tied together, which I do like. If you're going to do a double buckle, tie those suckers together because they're a pain in the butt not to. And like we've been seeing on other watches lately, the silicone have the tabs to keep the first keeper in place. Now this one does it a little bit differently than the other ones that we've already seen. So we saw one that had two tabs that would keep it from moving altogether. This Victorinox Maverick. You see it's got a tab on this side and a tab on this side that keeps the keeper from moving altogether. Then we saw another one that had tabs back here at the back that prevented it from going too far back. But this time we're seeing them at the front, keeping it from going forward. I much prefer that to the ones in the back, if you're going to have them, or the double like the Victorinox. But yeah, nice we have those. So let's pull this guy out. We'll leave him on the green strap. Also in the box, let's see what else is in here. Of course, the instruction manual. So this is very, very similar to the Armor Light we reviewed not too long ago. So this is the Armor Light caliber. They're very, very similar watches. Both polycarbonate, with carbon fiber in them. Both have T25 Tritium. There's some subtle differences though. But let's talk more about this Luminox right now. So it is polycarb on the outside, which is carbon reinforced, as well as on the bezel. It is even poly on the back case. And let me tell you, this thing is super light. Unbelievably light, especially on this strap right here. We'll put it on the scale in a minute, but just know it is ridiculously light. Now it does have the T25 Tritium. If you look in here, you'll see the little Tritium bars, little glass tubes that go around in a circle. But notice their orientation as compared to their orientation here on this Armor Light. See, the Armor Lights run this way, where the Luminox run this way. They run in a circle, where these run out in almost a star pattern. A little bit different. Same basic tubes though. and I believe they probably sourced them from the same place, because I think there's really only one factory that makes them in Switzerland. It does have one up here at the 0 marker for the crown, or for the bezel, sorry, not the crown. And it is unidirectional, so I can't turn it this way, I can only turn it this way. Good solid clicks. Tiniest amount of play, but it is super tiny. You should not bother you. If it does, you're more anal retentive than I am, and I'm pretty anal retentive. So, good motion on that. If you're a diver, it's fantastic. Again, most people using it aren't divers, and will use it to time their pizza in the oven. It does have a push-pull crown. That does not affect water resistance too much, as it is 200 meter. Man, this thing keeps getting dirty. 200 meter water resistance. It does have a date complication over here. I love the white background with the black lettering. Nice big window, easy to read at a distance. This is a smaller watch, and I'm going to keep comparing it to the Armorlight Caliber just because we just reviewed this guy. It is a smaller watch than the Caliber, but because of this bright green, it's just easier to read, I think. And I will tell you, I do think the Tritium is a little bit brighter on the Luminox than it is on the Armorlight. And that doesn't mean the Armorlight is bad. It's not by any means. It's just a little bit brighter over here on the Luminox. Plus the prestige of the Luminox brand. You think Navy SEAL watches, hard use, heavy duty watches, you think Luminox first before you think of anybody else. That's no snub on the Armorlights. The Armorlight's a fantastic watch, but it's just the commonality of what you think of when you think hard use watches. This is the watch that the Navy SEALs use today. So, the Luminox is a very heavy duty use watch, and it is fantastic. It's got nice thick mineral crystal on the top. It is not sapphire, but it is a nice thick mineral crystal. And again, with that polycarb back, it just feels very, very light. And with that, let's go ahead and pull out the old scale. And this is absolutely going to be a featherweight. No doubt about it. Pop him on the scale, 1.5 ounces. Absolutely nothing to this guy. And if you remember, the Armorlight was 2.3. So not pretty close to an ounce heavier. If you're doing a lot of backpacking and weight matters, then you're going to want the Luminox over the Armorlight. But again, no knock on the Armorlight. It's got a single tube on the a T25 Tritium tube on the minute hand, the hour hand, and the second sweeper, just like the Armorlight had. And then, of course, one at every hour all the way around, and one up here at the 0 point. Let's check the size. And we go across the short way, and we will see that this guy is 43. And we go across the long way, and we will see that this guy is a 48. If we go lug to lug, we will see he is, what's that, 47? And then a width, or a thickness of 14. So, not super micro, but a very, very reasonable size. A little bit smaller than the Armorlight. If you like a little bigger one, then you probably want to go with the Armorlight. If you like the little smaller, you want to stick with the Luminox. Both good quality watches to own, have, and wear. Let's take a look at this guy on wrist. Now, wrist check today. I am wearing the Time Force and long blah blah model number. I can't remember what it is. This was a Watch Gang Black subscription before I joined. I actually bought it from the Watch Gang Exchange used. This is model A5020. Like this piece. It got a lot of hate in the Watch Gang Exchange when it came out, but I like it. So they can all go rot. The ones that don't like it. Everybody's got their own flavor. Everybody likes their own flavor of Kool-Aid. You drink the Kool-Aid you like. I like that watch, so a review on it will come out before long. So, for the Luminox, looking at it your way, and it looks like it's changing date on us because it is midnight where I'm at. There you go, your direction. And we'll pop it on. Real deal, so you guys can see it. And again, so super light. It just disappears on you. It just goes away. It feels so good. This nylon strap breathes real easy, so your arm doesn't sweat. You don't get a whole bunch of sweat underneath the watch. Because it's so light, you just really forget it's there. Now remember, you can put silicone straps on this. This actually comes with silicone straps. I would have replaced them anyway. So I like this green. I think that really adds some sharpness to it. Now I'm not trying to be all Navy SEAL stealthy, hiding in the bushes, so I don't need it all black. I wouldn't have gotten green. I would have gone with black letters. But yeah, super cool. We'll absolutely provide some lume shots for you. They are fantastic. Again, there's not a whole lot more I can say about it. I covered pretty much everything in this Armor Light review. These guys are so, I mean, they're kissing cousins from a different mother, brother from another mother, if you will. Very similar. So I will, put a marker at the end of the video for the Armor Light video if you want to check that out, where I do a whole lot more blah blah talking about T25 Tritium and what it is. This is a radioactive watch. Don't worry, it's not going to hurt you. It's not enough radiation to bother you or affect you in any way. But that's what T25 Tritium is. It's actually an irradiated gas that excites phosphor molecules on these little glass tubes and perpetually lights the watch forever. Well, until the radioactive decay of the tritium, which is about 12.5 years, I believe. So that kind of brings us into what do you use this watch for? Is this an heirloom that you can hand down to your kids and their kids and their kids? Well, you could. The Swiss mechanism that runs the watch is going to run that long, no problem. The tritium, however, is not. It has a half-life. It's going to fade. It'll be half as bright in 12 years, and then half as bright again in 12 more, and then half as bright again. It's going to keep getting darker and darker and darker. But for the first 12 years, it's going to be full on, full bright all the time for 12 years, which is pretty darn awesome. Unlike traditional painted-on luminescence that you have to charge up with a light, like you'll have to take a light and shine it, on this, face of the watch, or put it out in the bright sunlight so it gets nicely charged, and then turn it off and you'll have some luminescence for a couple hours. Unlike that, this guy will just be bright all the time. You can put him in a dark drawer for 8 years, pull him out, and he's going to still be glowing just as bright as he was the day you put him in there, assuming you haven't crossed that 12-year threshold. And again, super light. This guy is going to be fantastic for any type of active wear, anything you do, if you work outdoors, if you do a lot of outdoor activities, you camping, hunting, fishing, diving, anything you do outdoors, this is a fantastic watch. Anything you do at night, fantastic watch. If you're outside at night, if you're hanging out with the kids, let's say camping is a fantastic watch for camping because you can see it all the time. You don't need to turn on your flashlight and lose your night blindness, or lose your night vision to look at your watch or what time it is. You can still see the tritium even in the dark. Perfect for camping. If you're worried, if you work in an environment that has a high risk of damaging your watch, it's a great watch for that. This carbon fiber reinforced polycarbonate is going to be excellent at protecting it. The mineral crystal is going to do a good job too. Not as good as sapphire. Sapphire is really hard, almost impossible to scratch, but it cracks easy. Mineral crystal doesn't crack, but it can scratch a little easier. And then K1 is kind of in the middle between those two. So this is on the not cracky side, but a little bit more scratchy side, but still much, much harder and less easy to scratch than glass. So, where you would normally scratch a phone, for example, you probably would not scratch this guy. Depending on the phone, obviously. The higher end phones are starting to have pretty high end glass in them now. But yeah, anywhere you would, you're doing high activity, this is a fantastic watch. The Armor Light also will fill that niche as well. So, price-wise, Luminox has this on their site for $375. Again, you pay MSRP for a watch, you're a crazy person. I'm able to find it for $200 on several different sites. I paid $150 for it. Again, used from a Watch Gang Exchange member. Brought it home, put a little dishwashing soap on it, toothbrush, scrubbed it all out, came back in great condition, even did the band, all cleaned up, good to go. It's like brand new to me. And saved $50, so I'll take that savings any day. But again, this has been the Luminox EVO Navy SEAL Colormark. Blech, mouthful. I sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me. And until next time, y'all get out there and make some noise. We'll see ya.